Here's 5 tips to avoid having transmission problems in your car. Number 1. When you first go to start your car's engine, it will idle kind of high. Typically, a cold engine will idle around 1,000 or slightly above 1,000 RPMs while it's warming up and getting the oil flowing. To avoid premature wear on your transmission, you should wait for that idle to drop back down to normal before you shift it into reverse or into drive. Shifting it into reverse or drive at these higher RPMs creates unwanted friction in a cold transmission, and that is the opposite of what you want to keep your transmission running smoothly. Number 2, if your car has under 100,000 miles on it, you should flush your transmission fluid. If it has over 100,000 miles, you should not flush the fluid. The reason you should not flush it after 100,000 miles is that transmission has 100,000 miles of wear and tear on it. That means there's a lot of particulates in that transmission fluid that may now be lodged in certain areas, and if you try and flush it out, you're now disrupting the ecosystem of sorts in that transmission. This could create unwanted problems that you didn't ask for in your transmission. Now, if it has under 100,000 miles, it may be a safe bet to flush it and put some new fluid in there to try and extend the life of that transmission. When the mechanic goes to flush that transmission fluid, it should also be reminded that a transmission oftentimes has a filter as well, and that should be changed at the same time as the fluid. Number 3, redlining your engine while it is still cold is not only bad for the engine, it's also bad for the transmission. When your car's transmission is still cold, the viscosity of the fluid inside of it is very thick. Your transmission fluid needs to be up to a certain temperature for the transmission to operate at its full potential and to do it smoothly. So if you're trying to redline and beat on your car while it's still cold, it's not good for the transmission and can cause premature wear. Number 4, not only is redlining your engine while the transmission is still cold bad for the transmission, but redlining excessively while driving can also wear on your transmission. There are gears and many different components inside of a transmission that are spinning at very high rates of speed and that are moving inside of your transmission. So when you're redlining constantly, those gears are moving, hydraulics are moving, everything is spinning very quickly, and doing this in excess can cause premature wear, and I don't recommend redlining very often. If you need to get on an interstate or an entrance ramp onto the highway, okay, go for it, but doing it just 20, 30, 40 times or whatever per day is definitely not going to help you in your case for your transmission. Have I said the word transmission enough? Number 5, shifting into park before your car has come to a complete stop is bad for your transmission. I know this is not common practice for most of us, but some people will oftentimes put their car into park while the car is still moving, and this causes wear on your transmission. Not only is it bad for the parking gear inside the transmission, but all that inertia of moving and then immediately coming to a stop is now flowing through the entire transmission, all the gears, all the components, and it's abruptly stopping your car. Obviously, this number 5 should be pretty obvious to most of us, but some people are in a hurry and their car is still creeping just a little bit and they slam it into park. Don't do that. It's not good.